There is a dark side to modeling, and this is my story. The modeling and beauty industry sounds glamorous, but most don't understand what happens behind the scenes. They see videos online, but those are what they want you to see. The truth, unhealthy standards, destructive behaviors, and blurred lines behind professional and what's downright criminal. I started modeling at age 13. I was determined to get in the modeling industry. It was what I always wanted. But my very traditional, religious, sheltered family wanted me to do nothing with it. I was naive, and my motivation was wrong. In the beginning, online platforms did not exist. I would go to agencies in New York, LA, casting calls, and most of them all had the same line: drop 30 pounds and come back. I wasn't built like runway models. Though tall, I didn't fit the mold. I wasn't a size 0. I was a normal, healthy girl. I wanted to achieve my goals so badly that I started an unhealthy path of overexercising and undereating. It was difficult in the beginning to get work. But as I became more and more underweight and frail, that's when I started to get booked for more opportunities. Shortly after that, online digital platforms became popular, and all my agencies moved online into digital print. I was invited to a casting by a well-known photographer at the time, and was told if I played my cards right, I would get a magazine cover. They provided the swimwear and told me how to pose. Before I left that shoot, I made sure that no images would be used in the media without my consent. All too often crime. My photos were used in an internationally published magazine. I was not compensated or professionally notified by either party. Those same photos, without my consent, was being sold and distributed to sex sites, porn sites, and online platforms that had to do with sex trafficking that I did not approve or were not in association with. This then brought a domino effect of impersonators. Those acting as myself on platforms I was not on to defend myself. Then further stealing my image and my name and using that as clickbait to make money off of me. Google is a monster, and even though I'm in countless litigations up until this moment, it is hard to fight. These type of sites and people prey on young, naive girls. They cannot make money off of the truth, so they will keep the lie up as long as they can profit and use you. It is why it's important to speak up and project your voice and never ever be a victim. My story is just one out of millions of girls, and that is why I must continue to help others new in this industry. I went back to school and since then got into public speaking and owning my own business, while still creating content for various businesses online. I'm not saying modeling is all bad. You have to ask yourself, why are you doing it? If it's for money, if it's for validation, if it's for fame, it will never work. This industry purposely preys on young, naive girls using money and fame as opportunities. Those are pretty lies. These pretty lies chain you to people who use and make it like you need them to survive, when in actuality, they need you. Too many females are told liberation is independence, and it's really more like exploitation and ignorance. Online modeling exploits women's desire to never be rejected. No need to work on improving yourself. It monetizes loneliness. The image encompasses much more than just physical. Nothing is more important than your reputation and social environment you construct around yourself. Most models end up failing due to the poor reputation and inability to drive the community necessary for their work. The harsh truth is you are a product, and folks that wish to use you want the best product for their needs, not you. Just like rejecting a defective tool, so too with the reject of a model with negative reputation. That's what it means to be a model. This industry can change you if you are not surrounded by good people. And I have a special guest today. This guest, Terry Goodlad, has been one of my very close friends for what now? Over 10 years.
Yeah, well over 10, yeah.
And he was actually the first guy, when I got involved with modeling, that worked for Nutrix, the Vitrex model team. On top of that, he does all the major fitness magazines, Oxygen, Muscle Fitness, Flex. So he has years, decades of experience in the industry. So we decided to team up together and help out some of our new girls that are wanting to get involved, maybe modeling or want to do a cover. I want to tell you what goes on in the modeling so that we can help you be the best that you can be.
I used to do model workshops, and what I would teach is that don't think of yourself as a person, think of yourself as a product.
Right.
And then what does that product do? What are its unique features, benefits, and advantages? And then what you do is you find an area that you want to go after. If you like guns and you're a girl, then that's your, so if your stuff starts showing up on a phishing site or a porn site, it's going to be, somebody hijacked my material, it's going to be more believable. If you're just putting stuff out there for the sake of putting stuff out there, it's hard to defend yourself. As a businessman, that's what I look for, is I look for people that don't just have big followings to get lots of clicks. People that have relationships are truly influencers. You can have 5 million followers, but if you're not connecting with those people, it's not going to benefit me as a sponsor. And when you go to approach somebody, think of it as a partnership or a job. If I can say anything about Gia that is really remarkable and why I
Too good to me.
wanted to invest so much in is just that she got that. It wasn't just all about Gia. Gia always creates that win-win. And so when she brings value to my business, so that's the thing. She got involved in the Vitrex model team. I went how we had a team in the first place is I went to them and I didn't say I wanted a job. I'm Terry Goodlad, I've been published everywhere. What I said is, here's how I can make you more money. And they go, gosh, okay, let's do it. So we started this model team. And then we get in there and Gia came in, unlike a lot of models, came in as a professional, thinking like a professional, understanding it's a business, understanding that she has an obligation to make the pictures work. It's done things.
Don't be so eager and think, oh, I'm going to get free products, so I'll do it for free. This is what's really happening to the industry. I'm watching everybody just think, oh, I'm getting a product for free, so I'm going to get my services for free. You have to provide worth and vice versa. Unfortunately, online platforms have become a predator's paradise. And with that being said, if you are highly marketable and you do your job correctly, you will be the main target of a lot of these dark pages online. They will steal your content, they will exploit you for their gain.
There was a very prominent fitness photographer. He was a chief photographer for one of the top women's magazines. He had a clause when you signed his waiver, he had a clause in there that you wrote off every video footage as well. What they didn't know is that he had hidden video in his change room at his studio, and he was taking that and broadcasting that.
I've seen that happen to a lot of girls.
And so at the end of the day, know who you're dealing with. Ask for referrals, ask for references, ask somebody like Gia, because she's been in the industry for a long time. And
been through it.
It's not about judging somebody, it's just that, okay, you might want to be cautious of that because I know somebody's had a bad experience, and just do your research and follow your gut.
Exactly.
And we just had this conversation earlier when I first got here, and if you got a boyfriend or a husband or something like that, let the guy meet this guy. He's probably going to have more of an intuition about this guy than you even.
That is true. If that person that is asking you to do a shoot will not allow you to bring somebody with me, that is a clear red flag to say, do not go to the shoot. I will tell you, every single shoot I've ever done, I've always taken my husband, and that has saved me in a lot of cases. So you have to be really, really careful who you shoot with, what you're going after, your long-term goals. they'll never put money ahead of your long.
Yeah, because the money is going to get spent on sandwiches and rings and bottles, and you've got to live with that for the rest of your life. And so that's just it. If you have a plan going in, and then and commit that plan to somebody that you care about, and then have somebody keep you in check, because there's going to be lots of temptation, lots and lots of it. But at the end of the day, I've never seen it pay off yet.
It's okay if you make a mistake. Everybody has, made mistakes. It's just what you're doing going forward. Never let anyone try to say, well, because this happened to you, you're forever stamped. Do not allow anybody to ever do that to you. Just learn and move on.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Not all of it is glamorous, and not every guy or person with a camera has good intentions.
Not just because a photographer is getting a lot of traction online or he has a lot of followers does not qualify him as a good photographer. Be aware, ladies, if a photographer makes it seem like he makes you. Okay, because that's another big thing that I see in the industry a lot. There's a lot of egos, and egos make decisions based off of that, which will never go far. It's always the two combined. It's the chemistry between the two. You're building art together. The model has to be just as good as the photographer. And if one's lacking, you're not going to get what you need. And it's important to come ahead of time. Bring the outfits that you want to shoot. Plan it. Because if you show up and you bring covered versus lingerie, the photographer is always going to gear toward the sexier stuff. And that is not necessarily maybe the route that you want to go. So bring exactly what you want to shoot, have a vision, and don't try to mimic anybody or imitate anybody. Just give an example of what you're thinking and see where the photographer is coming from. See if they can show you maybe something in their core or that they've done in the past that emulates.
Way to work. You're both professionals. Nobody's the king in this relationship.
Exactly.
It's two professionals working together. You do this job, I do this job, and we work together and make it work. It should always be that way. If it's not, you're going to be in that position where, and also if you don't know ahead of time of what you're doing, like Gia said, bring to the shoot what you want to shoot. Discuss that shoot ahead of time. If you don't do that, you're going to show up, and that photographer then is in control of what happens, and you're not going to get what you want, you're going to get what they want. Know your brand story, know your brand, the story you want to tell, and then make sure that your imagery and the pictures that anybody else shoots fit with that brand story. If they don't, pick a different photographer. Would you agree?
Absolutely, and I also want to encourage you ladies to, I know a lot of you will go through a report of a photographer and you'll see somebody that you are inspired by. Let's say it's a model that you want to get to where she's at. Send a DM to that model and actually say, how was your experience shooting with a photographer? This is important because a lot of photographers these days will actually go and pay to have girls with a higher number just so they can have them in a port to get newbies like you to come over and not ask any questions. And this is where problem lies. So don't be afraid to have a voice. Reach out to the model. I know I'll help you. If you send me a DM, I would be more than welcome to give you any information.
That's really, really smart.
I think later on we might do a podcast together on his podcast about entrepreneurship. Yeah. We're going to talk about the steps that you would need to go through because there are certain steps that you want to start out with to have a successful business. But that's enough for today, guys. I think we have had a lot to say.
We can talk your ear off.
We have a lot to say, and I hope you really enjoyed this. I hope I helped in some way. Remember, leave those questions and comments down below. I'm going to be definitely getting back to you. Take a visit down to my Instagram page. Send me a DM, ladies, if you have questions about photographers. I can definitely, send you my contacts or references. And I really appreciate all of you for subscribing and hitting that like and notifications. Thank you, Terry.
Just had a love button for each.
Terry, you've been amazing. It's amazing to have you as a friend, and just it's great networking with those. You have to surround yourself with those who support you and are passionate about the same things that you are.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Till next time. See you soon.